Okay, so I'm washing dishes and the washer is running, so hopefully the audio is okay here. But I heard something yesterday that caused me some concern. One of my friends, one of my fellow spiritual humans, made a statement yesterday that was concerning to me. I don't know if the statement was made yesterday. Sometime the statement was made. I heard it yesterday. So, because I heard it yesterday, I have been contemplating this statement, and now I wish to address it. Let me pause here a second. Okay. The message I have to share today is there are no accidents. There are no accidents. This message is very strongly being directed to those who have lost a child, those who have had the experience of being parents and a child has been taken from them, either by death of the body, by abduction, and the washer is done. By whatever means. It's playing its child tune. That's interesting. So, many times I have made the statement, the claim, that there are no coincidences. This is the same thing. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences. Now, at the level of spirit, this is when you get to the place where you can see every possibility, where you can see the vastness of the experiences we may have. When you get to that level, you know that based on choices, there are outcomes. Based on the directions we give our divine focus, there are outcomes, results from that. I don't like the word consequences, but if you take away the negative connotation, it just means a result based upon an action, a thought, a behavior. So, where we direct our divine focus, our point of attention, where we direct the power of God that is within us, outcomes follow. This is naturally occurring. One of my friends in the spiritual community made the comment that accidents are possible, and I must speak about that. At the human level, depending on your perspective, it may seem a surprise, an occurrence of, I didn't see that coming. Now, when we get to the level of spirit, or get to this openness of all potential, all possibilities, it is not that there is no surprise, because again, where you direct your divine focus, even at that level, to focus your attention on a single life experience, is to funnel your divine focus of attention to a ray of the sun, a ray-like beam rather than the illuminescence of all that is. Speaking to parents in particular in this message who have lost a child, know that the one that you looked upon believing to be the child has a soul as grand, as old, as magnificent, as mature, as wise, as all-knowing as yours. When the child leaves, either by death or some other way, know that the soul has agreed to this. Now, from the human perspective, it's hard to understand that we would choose traumatic experiences for ourselves. And though it is difficult to understand, traumatic experience is nothing more than an energy which allows us to have other consequential, other outcome experiences. So we come into this life, and when we come in, we have already agreed to every possibility that could ever be, or we cannot incarnate. So you cannot incarnate as a human unless you have already agreed to everything that you could possibly potentially experience. The soul decides. The soul is the one in control. This soul who does not have the hiccups, hang-ups, fears, deterrents, limitations of the human experience, of the mind that operates as the human. So the soul knows the possibilities before coming in. The soul agrees to those possibilities by choosing the family, the place, the year, the culture, on and on and on of its birth into physicality as a human being. So know that there are no accidents. There are no coincidences. There is divine plan, and there is resulting outcome from choices made. Okay, natural paths appear before us based on the choices we make, based on the area in which we focus our divine attention. So that which we give power to. As a parent, there is only so much we can do. As a parent, you could do everything right. And who is to say what is right anyway? You could do everything right and still have a child that makes choices that are detrimental to their body, detrimental to their happiness as a human being. And we must understand that that soul may have any experience it chooses to have. Now, does the soul say, is the soul really saying, I want to have this experience, that's unpleasant and on and on and on? Well, there are so many aspects to being human, being as human. So, you have a personality self that ideally will work in conjunction, in cooperation with the Christed self, which is more like the soul, the divine self. But that is not always the case here. There are times when the personality self, people call it the ego, drives the car. And this is not an accident either. This is free will. This is choice. This is the natural result of choices made, focus given to a certain path or direction, focus given, power given to thoughts that can come into manifestation. All of this is, it is okay. All of it is okay. As parents, we tend to take on a lot of guilt around the lives of our children, around their happiness or lack of happiness. And as we learn in many programs out there in the world, as we learn in our 12-step programs and things like that, when assistance is asked for, we may give it if it is the right thing to do for us in the moment and the right thing to do for the other. And only those involved in that moment know what is right. There is a thing called enabling, and we must be very careful that we do not fall prey to enabling others. We must allow others to have that experience of their choice. That experience does not become our experience. As a point of attention of God, which we all are, in physical form as a human, we are guided on our path. We are here to have the experience that our human is to have. And we must be careful not to get engrossed in the experiences of others to the point that it pulls us away from our own path, from our own experience here. And that is a lot of what goes on in the world. Jesus has been cited saying to be in the world but not of the world, and here's another meaning to that, being in the world but not of the world. So you are in the world and staying true to your path, your divine reason for being here. And service to others is a wonderful thing when it is a wonderful thing. And you have to contemplate that statement if you don't understand automatically what that means. Things have shown up for me recently which have given me the opportunity to question more of my beliefs about what is acceptable socially, what is acceptable as a human, what is acceptable in behavior, what is acceptable in the way we dress. And I realized that for a long time in our world, there have been certain ones who have set the standard, who have said, this is how you are to dress, this is how you are to be, this is how you are to see, this is how you are to speak. And I have had the opportunity recently through another beautiful being to observe and question whether I knew what was right for another person. And of course, we can never know what is right for another. This is no different, and it is the same for our children. Our children are here to have an experience. They are a soul, no different than we. They are an aspect of the one that we are an aspect of. We are all one at the level of God. We are all one. However, as the human, we have seemingly fragmented that we may, and all it means is it is a way for us to focus our divine attention and narrow the field to this beam, this ray of light, rather than the illumination of all things. And in doing that, it seems like we are separate. It seems like we are separate from the trees out this window. It seems like we are separate from the walls in this space. It seems like we are separate from one another, and we are not. But that is what it is to have the human experience. It is an experience of seeming separation, of individuality on a level of form. Yes, some would look at it this way. Some would say the light that we are is too great, too grand to be held within a form. And this ray of light that I'm speaking about, that is the point of attention, this focused, direct ray, a form of tunnel vision, let us say, tunnel vision, helps to reduce the amount of source essence that we are, which cannot be contained within form in its fullness. So there are many ways to experience the human, the earth. There are many ways to see, to perceive, to understand. And we all gravitate toward the one that works for us in the moment. This is okay. I once said to someone, doesn't it empower you to know that you chose the parents that you had? And where she was, she said, oh no, that's awful. Why would I choose that for myself? The seed was planted. The idea is, if you question, why would I have chosen this for myself? You begin to become less emotionally attached or involved to the outcome, to the meaning of, to the I must be because this, and this happened to me. And the curiosity of why, and the curiosity of how does this serve me, because I chose it. Why would I choose it for myself? Who am I? What am I? The seed was planted, and seeds we can plant, the nurturing and cultivating of the plant that comes from the seed it's not ours to do. Having said that, when we are at that level of spirit, we say, there are no accidents. There is occurrence, happenings, agreements, contracts, resonance, alignments, all of which, through our choices, thoughts, direction of divine focus, direction of source power, we are choosing. And some will say, but those where death of the body occurs so early in the human life, how can we say they've chosen that? Well, there are some who come and they are here briefly to bless us with their presence. They don't really have a lot of lessons. They don't really have a lot of need for the experiences that the rest of us have chosen. They come here to bless us with their presence. They burn out quickly. They come here to assist us in learning something, in growing somehow. They come in to assist us in having a certain kind of experience. To what end? We don't know. To what end doesn't matter. What matters is the faith in the knowing that it is all divine, it is all good, it is all okay. Finding that place where it is all okay is the peace of God, which is our entitlement. Should we choose it? Again, choose it. The question, what is this here to show me? How might I benefit by this? In gratitude, in gratitude, in gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your presence in my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you have come to show me, even if I don't see it yet. I know it is there because God is, because we are loved, because we are love, formed from, by love. From that place, there are no accidents, there are no coincidences. Trust that the soul you grieve for left when it wanted to leave, when it needed to leave, to do what it wanted and needed to do, and has blessed you for a time. And that the grief is yours. And oftentimes we grieve the things that will not be, things that were not. And we must understand that had that been necessary, were those occurrences and happenings necessary, it would have been. This is the mind of the human. This is the personality structure. This is the ego, if you will, that is amplifying desires for a thing that was not to be. And that is not healthy. It is not healthy. It is the cause for suffering, which is not necessary in our experience. It is not necessary for us to suffer. And yes, Christians might say, but Jesus suffered and died for us. And Jesus would say, he did not suffer. He did not suffer. Even in the death of the body, he did not suffer. He had an experience. He had an experience. And gave to us a belief. Gave to us a belief that we were saved. Because we had never been not saved. We had never been lost. We had never been in danger. We had never been in danger of annihilation. We had never been in danger of not being. Suffer not the little children. Come unto me. Sometimes the quotes are not accurate. Suffer not the little children. Come unto me. Know that in the hands of Christ all things are. Know that in the hands of Christ all things. And we are all but cells on the hand. Cells on the hand of the Christ. And peace and love may be blessed.